again, everyone. I am here with what was supposed to be the remaining colors in the Schmincke Granulating Special Edition watercolor tubes. However, as you will notice, I have one missing. So I was going to leave one blank in this little palette that I set up. And when I ordered, or when I received my second order of all these paints, which was supposed to be the whole collection, I realized that I had double ordered the Glacier Black. So instead of Galaxy Black, which is what this should be, I now have two Glacier Blacks. So I am going to have to wait until the color comes back in stock to order that one, and that will just be a one tube thing, and I'll have to see if there's other things that I need at the same time. But other than that, I'm going to swatch all of the remaining colors that I did get. So I have, I believe, 5 colors for you today. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th one will be coming at some point whenever they come back in stock. So I apologize. I have to tell you that no one is more disappointed than me to realize my mistake. I saw that and I was like, oh man, now I have to wait, which is not my strong suit. So I am going to swatch these the same way I was swatching the others. I will do the swatches in the places for them here, and then I am going to move on to this next page and do some sort of diluted samples of those. So let's just get right in here. So the next one that is empty here is the Glacier Blue. The other reason why I went ahead and set this up is because I wanted the colors to firm up a little bit in the palette. You can see the colors already here in these little swatches. I went ahead and made those little swatches, but for this one, let's see, I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. Let's get this like that and leave that up here. So there you go. So, and I have some water off to the side here. This is the Glacier Blue. I think that's a pretty good spread. I'm going to go ahead and dilute this a little bit. Seems very pigmented. I'll put that off to the side because then that can dry at the same time, and then I'll go back and show you at the end what these look like. So the next one we have here is Violet in the Galaxy collection. So that is Galaxy Violet. Let me make sure my brush is very rinsed off. Galaxy Violet, which is here. And the funny thing is, I got these and I swatched them. I'm going to have to put a darker patch here. I swatched these when I got them, and I actually really, really like these blues and these violets. It's so funny because I wasn't going to order these, and I just ordered them sort of to have the complete collection. And then when I did, I realized that the ones in my second order were probably my favorites. So it's very interesting, especially this violet. That violet is just gorgeous. And again, it has that Potter's Pink in it, which the Glacier Green has. So maybe it's just Potter's Pink that I love, but there you go. All right. So the next one is Galaxy Blue, which is this one here. And this one is also really super beautiful. Let's see, I'm going to add a little bit more blue over here. I want to try and have the full range. I probably made this one a little bit dark, and you're not going to be able to see the granulation as well, but you can see it in this diluted version here. Okay, it looks like that is running out. Okay. And then next I have Deep Sea Violet, which I believe is this one. And this one's beautiful as well. Add a little bit more dark over here. Let's see if we have enough here to do the watered out. One advantage to using a Kolinsky brush is you're going to get a lot of water stored up in your brush. And I will label these at the end here. And then the last one is Deep Sea Blue. Again, I'm going to add some more dark color there. And I think, yeah, we should have enough to do. Okay, that's interesting. The blues don't really fade out as much as some of the other colors. All right, so where is my pen? I don't know where that original pen went, so I am going to use, oh, there it is. Okay. So we have Glacier Blue. Trying to lift my hand a little bit above the paper, so it's kind of hard here. So this is Galaxy Violet. This one is, which one is that? That is Galaxy Blue. This one is Galaxy Violet. Is it? No, it's Deep Sea Violet. Deep Sea Violet. And then this one is Deep Sea Blue. Okay, so you can tell that of the colors here, this one is probably, Glacier Blue is super duper pigmented, because even after I placed a pretty good amount of pigment here, there was still a ton, and I'm really seeing the granulation quite a bit in the watered out version. So I'm going to show you these. So the granulation is not as obvious here, but you would be able to tell it more if the edge of my swatch was a little bit more diluted. That one, it's just because it's so heavily pigmented, that's how it came off. And then the violet, the Galaxy Violet, is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Galaxy Blue, also really nice and granulating. The Deep Sea Violet is also very nice and granulating. And then the Deep Sea Blue. And then black, for Galaxy Black, is going to have to wait. So sorry. So it'll be a short follow-up video for that one. And then here are those same colors really diluted. And you can see that there is actually quite a bit of granulation, especially in these three here. The Glacier Blue, Galaxy Violet, and Deep Sea Violet. And even with these, you can see a little bit more. So one other thing that I wanted to try today is, because people were asking about these colors on cotton paper, so, and I got several little test sheets of cotton paper along with my most recent sketchbook that I got from Koval. I may or may not have done a video about that at the time that this video is posted, so I would say stay tuned, because I think most likely I will not have posted that video yet. But these little samples are really convenient, because then I can try out these. I think I'm just going to pick a color or two. I think I'm going to pick one of the most granulating that I see on this other paper, and then I'm going to pick one of the least granulating and see if it makes a difference on these other papers. So, because these papers are not too big, so I want to have enough room on here to have a decent swatch of at least two colors. So this is Arches Express 100% cotton. I think that might be extra white. It's only 250 GSM, so it's a lighter weight cotton paper. This one is Fabriano Artistico, 100% cotton in natural white, 200 GSM. This one is Fabriano Artistico, 100% cotton, natural white, 300 GSM. So these are the only difference between these two is the weight. This is Fabriano 5, 50% cotton, extra white, 300 GSM, and this is a hot press. So that'll be interesting to see. Let me put these up. I'm going to try and make it so that you can see all of them in the frame here. I'll adjust as necessary. Okay, and then this is Fabriano Artistico, 100% cotton, extra white, 300 GSM, cold press. So all of these are cold press except for this one. So I'm interested to see what the difference in granulation is on the cold press and the hot press. So I'm going to lay them out like that. I'm going to keep this here, and I am going to decide which two colors I should use. So based on these samples here, I would say probably the most granulating. I'm going to go with this new Galaxy Violet. I'm going to say that's the most granulating as far as what I can see. They're all pretty granulating other than one or two. So as far as the least granulating, I would say maybe either the Glacier Turquoise or the Deep Sea Blue. I think I'm going to go with the Glacier Turquoise because even here you're not getting a whole lot of granulation in the one that is swatched out like that. So let's go, okay, so Glacier Turquoise for the least granulating, and then Galaxy Violet for the most granulating. And then I'm going to do those two colors on all of these papers. So let's go ahead and start with the Glacier Turquoise first. That is the first one in my palette, so that makes it easy. So I am going to do half where you have a pretty good concentration up here at the top, diluting down. And I'm going to try and replicate that on all of them with roughly the same amount of paint. I think I might leave a little bit of space on these because I have some more space. Okay. And again, I will show you these close up at the end. Oh, so one issue is that as my watercolor is being used more, it's more pigment is releasing from the pan. So I'm going to do my best to try and get the same amount, but you know, it's never going to be exactly the same. And I do think it depends on the paper too and how much it absorbs. Okay, so there's all of the turquoises. Let's now go in for Galaxy Violet. I want to make sure I have the right one. I believe it's this one here. Okay. Oh, I'm going to need more on my brush. And I'm rinsing off in between each because I don't want to have a different amount of water in each one. So for each one, I am rinsing out the brush in the water. I am brushing the brush up against the side of the glass to get off some excess water. And then I am going into the paint. That way we can try and get as consistent a sample as possible. I can tell you right now that we're definitely getting a lot more granulation on the cold press as opposed to the hot press. Okay, so those are going to have to dry a little bit before we can get a true comparison. This one is pretty much dry. So this is Arches Express, 100% cotton, 250 GSM. I'm still seeing the same qualities of both of these. The granulating color is still granulating, and the the least granulating one is still not granulating a whole lot on this paper. And so this one is the Fabriano Artistico 100% cotton in natural white. You also kind of get to see the different textures. I don't think the granulation is showing up as much on this particular paper as it was on the last, on the Arches Express. And this can kind of show you comparisons of the paper as well. So let's see, most of these are pretty much dry. They dry very quickly here because of the climate. So this is the same other than the weight. So this one is 300 GSM, which is very interesting because you can see quite a bit more granulation on the 300 GSM than you can on the 200 GSM. But again, it's mostly showing up in that highly granulating color and not as much in the less granulating. So the hot press, kind of as expected, at least for me, it's not going to show granulation as much as the cold press, just generally, because there's not as much texture in the paper to hold on to that. And this is the Fabriano Artistico. Okay, so based on this, I think that these two, the Arches Express 250 GSM and the Fabriano Artistico 300 GSM, are the ones that show the granulation the best out of all of these. A close second, I think these are pretty much tied. So if you want a thinner paper out of these papers, I would go with the Arches Express. And I do not know what the price difference between any of these is, because these are just samples and I didn't look them up yet. And I would say a close second is the Fabriano Artistico 300 GSM, but I'm not a big fan of the texture of this paper. I'm having trouble focusing. There you go. But you may be. So there you go. And these two here, not a lot of granulation at all, which is very strange, especially for the, not for the hot press, but for this 200 GSM Fabriano Artistico. It's very strange. Maybe it's just the texture. All right, so there's our little somewhat scientific experiment. And I do have some extra places here. I think I will save those for another day for different colors, because this way you'll just get these two color comparisons. All right, so based on this, I would say that my determination is that you still are not going to see a whole lot of granulation in that Glacier Turquoise, no matter what paper it's on. And most papers, you're going to see some granulation with that violet. And it seems like the colors with the Potter's Pink are the way to go if you want the super granulating colors. But there we go. All right, so that's it for today. Like I said, it might be a little while before I get that last black color, the Galaxy Black. I have an idea in mind for perhaps a giveaway for the Glacier Black, since I now have two, and there's actually a couple of, well, at least one other Daniel Smith color that I have a duplicate of that I may not end up using, but it's a beautiful color. So I'm thinking of doing a giveaway at some point. I have to kind of figure out the details of that, but stay tuned. So all the more reason to subscribe so that you can keep track of my videos and for any future events like giveaways. All right, thanks so much. Bye.